but I wanted to speak on Dragon Ball The Breakers real quick
Yeah.
as a game, and then we'll talk about that fan thing next week. But as a game, you saw this new trailer and then you saw some of those Cell trailers before, right? Like they focused on Frieza this time.
Yep.
So how do you feel about
So
this? Yeah.
I don't know. So the game, to be honest, it's Dead by Daylight with the Dragon Ball Z skin.
It almost looks like a
Essentially,
meme to me in a way. It
it
looks
does.
funny. It looks like a meme in a way.
The idea is supposed to be you're a civilian. I don't know if you get like extra little powers, but it's that. But it's like Dead by Daylight trying to survive while like you don't have any powers, and then one person's gonna be the villain taking everybody out. So it's Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
but with Dragon Ball Z skin. One
Yeah.
of the things that I did like, I don't know, it struck me, and it was a small moment in the Frieza trailer, which is probably not that big of a deal, but it was just like it soured. I don't know why it soured me on the game. I guess that's not the right word. It like just made me go ugh and like cringe up a bit. There's a part where Frieza's chasing after one of the is a female character, and he's chasing after the character, and the character stops and like pokes her butt out and just shakes it, and then Frieza's stunned for a second, and then she's able to keep running while Frieza's
Tell you it's a
frozen.
meme, dog.
And I think it's supposed to be like a distraction move. But like looking at
Yeah.
that, it felt so out of
Cringe.
place. On
Yeah.
top of that, I was like, it's Frieza. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I guess,
Frieza wouldn't be distracted
if
by that.
you
None of the villains in Dragon Ball Z would have been distracted. The only person
the
distracted by that,
aliens, yeah.
yeah, the only one is Roshi. Baby Majin Buu. And like, what is she doing? Like that? Like,
Yeah.
but like if Cell is gonna hurt you, he's not gonna stop because you shake your but maybe he's trying to see is this a fighting tactic or something like this. But past that, no. They're just gonna like laser beam you. Like what? And there was another scene, and I don't know if I'm looking at it incorrectly, and I actually rewinded and watched this part like 4 times,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's going on. There's a guy on the little like Nightwing glider, like going down, right? Like flying down.
Yeah.
And there's like an energy beam wall, and he kind of just phases through it and keeps gliding down to the ground, and then the energy beam wall like explodes. So I don't know if it was a villain attack that he was trying to get away from, but he went straight through the lasers. Like that was what I noticed. It's like, and I kept rewinding. It's like maybe it was like a invisible shrinking wall, like certain games where they do it, where like there's like a barrier and it keeps shrinking in as the level goes. So it's like it's much harder because everybody's in a tighter location. And at the first, I thought maybe it was that, but then there was an explosion, and that's what I was like, wait, was that an attack that they just walked through? It was like or flew through, and I was so confused. It just looks, I don't know. It looks like it'll be goofy and
It
maybe
looked
fun for like
hilarious to me.
round or
Yeah.
two. It doesn't to me have the longevity of Dead by Daylight.
Nah, the longevity is gonna be the fighter games. They did have moments where, like you said, powers. You don't know if they have powers. There, I remember from some of the other footage, they do have powers if they get a certain power up where they find it in the field. Because there was one
Oh,
where you turned into Goku for a second, and it went from, like Dead by Daylight to almost Tenkaichi or Xenoverse for a minute, and or not. What is it called? Did I say Xenoverse? Is that right?
yeah,
I'm thinking of. Oh, my
yeah. Dragon
brain
Ball
went to
Xenoverse.
Nintendo for a second. Like I'm thinking of that.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse
Yeah,
or Tenkaichi
not the other
series,
way. But yeah,
Budokai and Xenoverse. Yep, or Raging
yeah,
Blast.
yeah. But it happens like that when you get a certain thing, and I think you can get a rocket at some point. It's like that's not really powers, but I mean,
To stun the villain from about
yeah.
to get you. That's the
It
idea. Is they're there
sounds
to like,
goofy. It looked
yeah,
goofy. It looked hilarious to me. I think it looks funny. I'm gonna be honest though, it's not a game that I think is for me. But it does look like if I had my favorite streamer kind of person, I would sit back with some food and laugh and watch. But I don't know
yeah.
if I would buy this day one. It don't seem like something I would buy. It's
No,
surviving off of Dragon Ball Z. I will say it is a breath of fresh air for them as a franchise because they had
yeah.
the
Something.
fighting games and then they had it where they tried to make it open worldish for a second while still being the same fighting game. And so now
Yep.
they're doing this, but they still have that mechanic in there. So I think it's still like the same engine or whatever, but they're switching some stuff up. So
Yeah.
I'm not
So
against
I'm
it.
not mad that this game is being made at all. It is a breath of fresh air. It's different, right? It's not your
Yeah,
just fighting game. It's not your like create a character, and it's not your like play through the story again. All right, it's its own thing. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's for me.
yeah, hilarious though. And I
Yeah.
will say for anybody who's gonna watch this, I am gonna clip this, and I want to tell you, tune in next week. We will definitely talk about the fan film. I'm gonna do my homework and see it. I forgot about it before, so we're gonna talk about that for sure next week. And like, comment,
Like
share, subscribe.